Good day everyone, especially to our instructor, Ma'am Shara Dionaldo. Today I will talking about my chosen artists of the ancient time to Art Nouveau. But before that, here are the table of contents of my portfolio. First, my favorite artist. Second, curate his work. Third, background of the work, the description, the medium, and inspiration. Fourth, discussion, why you like the artist, works in general appeal to you. And fifth, write the bibliography of the artist. My favorite artist is Gustav Klimt. Gustav Klimt was an Austrian symbolist painter who was born on 14th of July 1862 on Baumgarten, Vienna, Austria, and died on 6th of February 1918 in Vienna, Austria, whose primary subject was the female body. His paintings, murals, and sketches are marked by a sensual eroticism, which is especially apparent in his pencil drawings. Klimt attended the Vienna University of Arts and Crafts in 1876 and formed the Company of Artists with his two brothers and friend, after which he was awarded the Golden Order of Merit from the Emperor of Vienna. In 1892, his father and one of his brothers died, leaving him responsible for their families. The family tragedy also affected his artistic vision, which helped him develop his own personal style. These are the article featured 10 most famous paintings by Gustav Klimt. First, The Kiss. Second, Judith and the Head of Holofernes. Third, Beethoven Frieze. Fourth, The Tree of Life, Stocklet Frieze. Fifth, The Three Ages of Woman. Sixth, Danae. 7. Death and Life. 8. Klimt University of Vienna Ceiling Paintings. 9. Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer II. 10. Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer. The first famous paintings by Gustav Klimt is The Kiss between 1907 and 1908. This painting was painted in the Gilded style and is one of the most famous works of the Golden Period, depicting a couple embracing. This painting can be viewed at Österreichische Gallery Belvedere, Vienna. Hope II by Gustav Klimt, the subject of pregnancy in art. The Kiss is an oil and gold leaf painting which is regarded as Klimt's most successful artwork. He painted it during his golden period. Klimt loved depicting love, sexuality, and intimacy in his work. These themes are made apparent in The Kiss, which describe a couple wrapped together in a warm embrace. They both adorn beautifully decorated groups, and the man appears to be kissing his missus on the cheek. The Kiss generated a broad public outrage that prompted Klimt to sell it before it was finished. This painting is vastly essential of Klimt and art because it embodies a timeless, universal perspective of romantic love. The medium used is oil and gold leaf on canvas. The inspiration for his golden face was presumably provided by a visit to Ravenna during his travel through Italy in 1903, which introduced him to the world of Byzantine mosaics. The second famous painting of Gustav Klimt is Judith and the Head of Holofernes. The Judith and the Head of Holofernes is a painting produced by Gustav Klimt in 1901. In this painting, the artist depicts the biblical character of Judith holding the severed head of Holofernes. This painting can be viewed at Österreichische Gallery Belvedere, Vienna. Judith is a beautiful masterpiece by Klimt that inspired by the biblical heroine called Judith. As the tale goes, Judith seduced General Holofernes, head of the Assyrian army, and later decapitated him to prevent the devastating onslaught of villagers of Italia, her home city. The central theme represented by Judith is virtue triumphing over vice. The model who posed for this reversed masterpiece was Adele Bloch-Bauer. It's now clear that she was Klimt's favorite model. The painting reveals a beautiful lady with pitch-dark hair and a lustful purpose, Deminor holding a decapitated head that belongs to Holofernes, the slain general. In the painting, Judith adorns a massive golden choker that was quite fashionable in Vienna around the early 20th century. Although there are two versions of Judith painted by Klimt, the 1901 release sparked a lot of interest among critics who praise it for its deep sensuality and magnetic fascination. The medium used is oil on canvas. Inspiration is this look inspired by Gustav Klimt's Judith and the head of Holofernes is an appropriation of his vision of the biblical Israel widow as a classic femme fatale. She is said to have seduced and decapitated General Holofernes in order to save her home city from destruction by the Assyrian army. The third famous painting is Beethoven Frieze. Beethoven Frieze is a painting produced by Gustav Klimt in 1901. This painting was directly painted on the walls with the light materials and first exhibit at the 14th Vienna Secessionist. This painting can be viewed at Secession Building, Vienna, Austria. For the 14th Vienna Secessionist exhibition, which was intended to be a celebration of the composer and featured a monumental polychrome sculpture by Max Klinger, meant for the exhibition only. The frieze was painted directly on the wall with light materials. The medium used is charcoal, graphite, block, red and colored chalk, pastel, Hyacenth color, gold, silver, galstoku, application, mother of pearl buttons, brass uniform buttons, mirror fragments, ground glass brass, curtain rings, upholstering nails, semi-precious stone, on mortar rendered over red matting. For the Beethoven frieze, Klimt was inspired by the last chapter of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, Ode to Joy. Beethoven made more than 200 essays for Friedrich Schiller's Ode to Joy poem. He added his last work to the end of his Ninth Symphony in 1824. Klimt designed the frieze only for the exhibition. For this purpose, it is made directly on the wall with light materials that are easy to remove. In 1986, it was kept closed until it opened again. The painting extending as the ornamental belt along the upper half of the wall in the hall were constructed to cover three walls consisting of two long short walls. The frieze described the struggle of mankind against the forces of the evil, which resulted in absolute happiness in the kingdom of poetry and art. He finds enemy forces in front of desire of happiness, but he reaches happy ending with Ode to Joy. The fourth famous painting is the Tree of Life Stocklit Frieze. The Tree of Life Stocklit Frieze is a painting produced by Gustav Klimt in 1909. This painting is a study for a series of three mosaics with depicts swirling Tree of Life. This painting can be viewed at Museum of Applied Arts, Vienna, Austria. The Tree of Life is an important symbol used by many theologians, philosophies, and mythologies. It signifies the connection between heaven and earth and the underworld. And the same concept is illustrated by Gustav Klimt's famous mural, The Tree of Life's chocolate frieze. The medium used is oil on canvas. Inspiration is in his gold face. He made effective use of gold leaf in his paintings, which may well have influenced by his father. Fifth famous painting is The Three Ages of Women. The Three Ages of Women is a painting produced by Gustav Klimt in 1905. This painting depicts three women in varying stages of age, which symbolize the cycle of life. This painting can be viewed at Galleria Nazionale di Arte Moderna. It is believed to represent three main stages of women life: infancy, motherhood, and old age. The mother with the child on the right of the canvas is stunning representations of the beauty and the love of motherhood, as well as the stage of infancy. The mother holds her infant in a warm, secure embrace, offering unconditional love. The sleeping child face shows content as a result of the overwhelming affection. The left side of the canvas shows the last stage of a woman's life, which Klimt chose to depict as a worn-out, old woman who is withering away. Her heart over her face not only implies that she has had enough of life, but also suggests that she needs to hide. The harsh brown background that immediately captures the viewer's attention symbolizes the ground, showing her body already half buried. The medium used is oil in canvas. Inspiration. In 1905, Klimt painted The Three Ages of Women, depicting the cycle of life. He created a painted portrait of Margaret Wittgenstein, Ludwig Wittgenstein's sister, on the occasions of her marriage. Then, between 1907 and 1909, Klimt painted 5 canvases of society, women wrapped in fur. The sixth famous painting is Danae. Danae is a painting produced by Gustav Klimt in 1909. This is an excellent example of symbolism, and subject of his painting was famous among several artists during early 1900s. This painting can be viewed at Gallery Warthul, Vienna, Austria. The woman portrayed is Danae. According to Greek mythology, Princess Danae was the daughter and only child of King Acrisius of Argos and Queen Eurydice. After an oracle's prophecy warned him that his grandson would kill him, King Acrisius locked his daughter in a bronze tower so that she wouldn't bear any children. But Zeus, the king of gods, being drawn to the princess, visited her at night in the form of golden rain and impregnated her. The child they had together was the demigod Perseus. The medium used is oil on canvas. Inspiration. This painting is inspired by the Greek mythology, shows a girl named Dana who had seen Zeus turned into a golden rain. Dana after she gave birth to Perseus. A third of bold and chaotic compositions fills side Dana, who spread her legs to her Zeus could enter. Although Dana's asleep, his right hand is in love spasm and facial, blissful and contented expression. The seventh famous painting is Death and Life. Death and Life is a painting produced by Gustav Klimt in 1915. The Australian artist's painting, murals, and sketches depict sensual eroticism, and this painting was created using the Art Nouveau modern style. This painting can be viewed at Leopold Museum in Vienna. Gustav Klimt described this painting, which was honored with the first prize at the 1911 International Art Exhibition in Rome, and his most important figure he work. Instead of threatening vision of death, we see the acceptance of mortality, the moment of pleasure, beauty, youth, serenity, hope, and acceptance. The medium use is oil and canvas. Inspiration. Although inspired by his mother's death, Gustav Klimt painting Death and Life is as much about life as death. The eighth famous painting is Klimt University of Vienna ceiling paintings. Klimt University of Vienna ceiling paintings is a painting produced by Gustav Klimt between 1900s and 1907. A series of paintings were produced by Klimt, and this painting is also known as faculty paintings. In 1945, all of these three paintings were destroyed by the retreating SS forces. Upon presenting the paintings that Klimt had created, which include the artworks philosophy, medicine, and jurisprudence, the artist was hit with an array of criticism that his work were deemed as pornographic with perverted excess. None of the paintings will be displayed in the university. The medium used is oil canvas. Inspiration. The influence of Brooke and Hans lead Freud to conceive of the human mind as a stream of psychological energy or libido, which is continuously transformed, as in Hans' law of the conservation of energy, into thoughts and behavior. The ninth famous painting is Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer II. Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer II is a painting produced by Gustav Klimt in 1912. The subject of this painting was refined, art-loving Venice salon lady who was also a good friend of Klimt. The painting is in private collection. Klimt loved working with his particular model, Adele Bloch-Bauer. In fact, she is the only person who was privileged enough to have Klimt paint her portrait twice. This portrait depicts Adele Bloch-Bauer adorned in an opulent dress that emphasized her royal status within Vienna. The background was painted using abstract blocks and decorated with jewels. Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer II held a profound significance among the Bloch-Bauer family, seeing it resided within the family home until the Nazis seized it during the Second World War. The medium used is oil on canvas. The inspiration is Gustav Klimt painted a second portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer, making her the only person to have had her portrait painted twice by Klimt. This fact was a reflection of her standing among Vienna's elite and her position as a patron of the art with her husband Ferdinand. The last famous painting is the Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer. Portrait of Adele Bloch-Bauer is a painting produced by Gustav Klimt in 1907. This painting is also known by name as The Lady in Gold or The Woman in Gold. This painting can be viewed at New Gallery, New York, one of Klimt's most beautiful oil paintings, complete in 1907. This portrait depicts Adele Bloch-Bauer, a wife of Ferdinand Bloch-Bauer, a Viennese sugar magnate and banker. It was Ferdinand Bloch-Bauer who requested Klimt to paint an elaborate portrait of his beloved wife. The portrait was meant to be an anniversary present for Adele's parents in the coming months. He incorporated gold and silver left into his painting technique, using a paint mixture called gesso to paint on canvas. The portrait received a bunch of adverse reaction for critics who described it as bizarre and absurdity and mosaic-like wall grotesquerie. The medium used is oil, silver, and gold in canvas. Inspiration is inspired by his visit to Ravenna's Byzantine gold mosaic Gustav Klimt was fully immersed in his so-called golden phase when he began painting portraits of Adele Bauer. The aptly nicknamed Woman in Gold and Lady in Gold epitomized the multi-faced, artistic, and extremely laborious process of Klimt called face. We are now here in the last part, the discussion. I speak very highly of him and consider both his work and personality to be significant. I admire the way he combines figurative and abstract art, the use of vibrant patterns on gold leaf, and how the individual he portrays are split equally between his imagined dream world and our own. He adored making very large pieces because few artists can scale their works and do it well. Klimt maybe because he was somewhat fascinated with sexuality, but his writings throughout his time were also quite contentious. Most of them are very intricately decorated, and the Kiss, which was painted in his final years, has a lot of gold leaf. That method turned out to be highly effective for him. I think he was avant-garde and unconventional for his period. The majority of talented artists had quirks that were sure to irk someone, but an objective art historian shouldn't consider that. I'm in love with his creation. I like everything about his paintings, but I especially like the passion, originality, color, composition, visual texture, and etc. Should I say intensity instead? It appears that his goal was blatant and verging on obsession. Although his work might rekindle the Me Too movement when viewed with a modern, self-aware, and generally enlightened mind. I find it simple to be touched by the intensity that some of his works seems to be emitting almost painfully. The Kiss is particular and, yes, predictably. It feels so intimate to me when I gaze at the painting that I become a bit uneasy if someone is present, since it seems like this emotion should be experienced in solitude. I love the question because not many people are interested in discussing art that is considered to be old hat. I adore this man. Even in the creation, his creation are remarkable and pricey. No other artist has expressed their thoughts in such a singular and original way as he did. Although I've always found Klimt's art to be outstanding, I hadn't had chance to witness it until recently. My appreciations of his art has grown as a result of this experience, and I now rank him among the greatest painter in history. It wasn't until I looked closely at his work that I realized the depth, detail, and texture that are so clearly visible in reproductions of his work were produced just as much by underpainting some details directly onto the canvas as they were by the surprising moderate impasto treatment he applied to other ones. I have never seen any painter that could accomplish as much with such grace in their paintings. The mature works of Klimt moved me from liking to adoring them. I now regard him as my all-time favorite painter. Thank you for listening, and God bless us all.